They're known as America's cheapest family, but the information in their Money Smart family system is priceless. And Steve and Annette Economides rejoined me here on Harvest by,
Hi.
it was a standing ovation that you guys received the last time that you were here with us, because anytime you talk about the subject that's most talked about in the Bible, or no, probably second only to love, which is money, people really want to hear what you have to say. So they are known as America's cheapest family. You kind of got that. You didn't call yourself you didn't call yourself that. How did you get the name Economides? How did you get that name? And tell us where you
let's start.
are.
Economides, I was born with that. I learned to spell Mississippi before I learned to spell Economides, but it's Greek and it means son of the steward. And then America's Cheapest Family came by way of Charlie Gibson on Good Morning America when we appeared there in 2004. And there wasn't any competition to become America's Cheapest Family. It was just something the media grabs onto. They want this extreme statement. We like the term Money Smart Family. We prefer just being stewards, because that's really what we're called to. And that's what our goal is, to give families hope that finances can be a source of joy, and there's always hope no matter what your situation is, because there's so many ways to save money to get the things you need, and that's what we're here to encourage families about.
And you have done something that a lot of parents only wish or dream that they could do, and that is you have brought your kids on board where they are a part of the Money Smart family system.
Right.
That's right.
From the time our kids were little, we had a system called the Money Smart Kids System, and it was administered once a week. And it was a way for them to earn and budget and prioritize, spend. It was just a lot of fun. It was very unifying for our family. It was a discipline, but yet it didn't seem like a discipline because it was so much fun and so rewarding, and it was done once a week. And
our kids felt empowered.
Yes.
That they had money they could spend and they could make decisions. And our goal was, when they're young, to give them a little bit of money to manage, and as they get older and as they're faithful, just like Scripture says, he who is faithful in little will be faithful in much, we gave them more and more to manage, to the point when they're 18 years old, they're coming to us paying for their own college educations without debt. It's an amazing thing, and it can happen at any stage along the way. Parents can start empowering their kids.
Okay, so what's the age range of your children?
Okay, we have 5 kids, and they range in age currently from 18 to 29.
Okay, but when they were younger, I'd imagine, when I see kids today and I kind of, I'm walking through Walmart and I cut through the toy section, kids want the biggest, the brightest, they want all the toys, all of the new technology. Okay, what's your response to that?
Okay, well, kids do. They like colorful things, they like to play with things, and I think toys are a very good way, a real life expense to teach kids how to prioritize their money. So we came up with a wish list. And a wish list basically was something created in a moment of sheer panic when we were at a toy store and we had all of our kids, several of our kids with us. They were little.
Really
and I was like, oh my gosh, they want everything they see. So we're like, well, write it down. And the wish list idea was born. And basically our kids knew if they put it on a wish list, there was a good chance that they were gonna end up with that item for a birthday or for a holiday, Christmas. And then they could sit and kind of evaluate what was on that wish list. And if for some reason they didn't get it for that special occasion, then they could decide, is this something I really want enough to save my own money to buy it?
Okay, so now if you have 5 children, they get 3 things on their wish list. I don't know how long the list, that's 15 items that you would have to come up with. How long do you suggest is, the list, how long should it be? And how do you come up with do you say give the top 3 or give your top 2 gifts?
Well, what we did is, in that sheer moment of panic in the Toys R Us store, we wrote things down. Now what we do is we ask the kids, write down your Christmas list, your wish list. And they do it, there's kind of 2 parts to it. They make their own Christmas list, but they also make their own wish list that they keep in their spend envelope, things that they want to buy. And it helps them get things out of their mind, and this is really a great tip for parents too, because when you take things out of your mind, it cuts down the impulse. And we wrote in our grocery book, Cut Your Grocery Bill in Half, that when you go to the grocery store, 60% of the items you put in your grocery cart are there on impulse. Well, that same thing happens with toys and clothes and other things. So getting it out of your mind on paper, it really helps.
And actually, there's no limit to what they can put on their wish list.
Okay.
because you want them to be able to dream. Okay, but then what it does is it teaches them self-control, discipline, priorities, because then they have to look at all that. They realize that we're not an unlimited bank source for the holidays. And so they're probably going to get 2 or 3 items off their wish list for the holidays.
Okay.
And so then they have to decide how important is all that other stuff, and in what order do I want to try to earn that and buy it.
Okay, so what about mall, going to the movies, hanging out with friends?
Right.
If our kids have the money, they're free to do it. But we aren't going to fund it.
Yeah,
This is another real-life situation.
We don't hear at our house, Mom, can I have $20 to go to the mall? That just does not happen.
But I want to back it up, because really it starts, if you start when they're younger, you won't get that question. So this isn't the doll that Abby bought, but we just brought this as kind of a representation. When Abby was 9 years old, our youngest, she started everything early and by herself, but she wanted to buy an American Girl doll. And at that time, she was earning about $5 a week. American Girl dolls cost about $120. And we sat down and we thought, this is a great opportunity for her to learn to manage a goal. And so we took her on eBay and we looked at the price of them, and she said, oh, they're $60. And you know, now that's 10 weeks worth of saving, that'd only be $50. And she had other things she was spending her money on. So this was gonna take a while. But for a 9-year-old to set a goal of saving $60 and then doing it, that's an incredible strengthening accomplishment. And she did. It took her about 6 to 9 months.
Wow.
And the day we bought that doll was a phenomenal milestone in her life, and was even more impressive when it came in the mail. And she still has the doll. She's 18 years old today.
And it's tucked away, waiting for her own children.
Okay. Well, what about the attitude of you guys, you know, running your family as a business? How does that bode with other people and, you know, like...
You know, that is a real, that's a great question. We feel like the American family is a business, and we feel like people should be taking it more seriously and turning a profit. People shouldn't be looking at their children as sinkholes, as obligations, as annoyances. They should be looking at their children as an awesome challenge
An asset.
for passing the baton, because they are the future of America, and we need to be pouring ourselves into our kids so that they can turn around and make our country even better.
So we invest in our kids so that they can stand independently. And it's an awesome thing to see them come to you and say, I want to buy a car and I'm going to save my money to do it. I want to go to college and I'm going to save my money to do it. I want a cell phone and I'm going to find the money and I'm going to pay for it. And you know what? I researched how much it costs every month, and I can afford that on my part-time job. And that's how we deal with technology and with our kids. If they want it, they need to buy it. And sometimes we have to place limits on it though too, but we can talk about that another time.
Well, I hear you saying that starting young, when your children are like, you know, young enough to understand, is when you should start instilling this system in your kids. It's called the Money Smart Family System. It's by Steve and Annette Economides. You can get a copy of it by going to americascheapestfamily.com, or you can go to harvest-tv.com and click on show info in the menu bar for an easy way to connect to their site and to get a copy of this very valuable book. Harvest continues in just a moment.